We want to look at some common mathematical functions in Stata. So we'll start with absolute value function. So if we specify AB as for absolute value, and then in the brackets, whatever argument we specify, Stata will return the absolute value of that. Say I write display absolute value minus 7. This will display the absolute value minus 7, which is 7. If I say display AB as a short form for absolute value, display absolute value 6, which is just 6. So now log or ln will return the natural logarithm of the argument if it's greater than 0. So if you specify an argument greater than 0, Stata will display its natural log whether you use log or ln. So in Stata, log and ln both are referring to the natural log. So if I wanted to display the natural log of 10, I could write display ln 10. This will display the natural log of 10, or I could specify display log 10. Right? So in Stata, whether you use log or ln, Stata will take that to mean the natural log, right? So let's look at another example from this data set. So in this data set, if we just browse this quickly, so we have a variable income. Say we wanted to create a variable that stores the natural log of each of the observations of the variable income. So we can do generate ln underscore income is equal to ln income, right? I could have done or log income. We could have done that too. Or we could have done log income as well. That would have also done the work, right? So you can either use, so if you want to create a variable that stores the natural log of each of the observations of the variable income, so you could achieve that by either using ln or using log. In both cases, data will display the natural log, right? So we can do one or the other, right? So now this has created a new variable which stores the natural log of each of the observations of the variable income. Now let's look at another function, exp. This is short for exponential. What this does is this returns the exponential of the argument. Whatever I specify in the argument, Stata will return the exponential. What I mean is that it will return e to the power of the argument. For example, say I do display exponential 1. So this will display the value e power 1, right? So Stata will display the exponential of the argument, right? So e power 1. So this was essentially, I'm saying I want the value e to the power 1. If I do generate y is equal to exponential 2, so this will create a new variable y, which takes the value e power 2 for each observation. So when you specify exp, it's returning the exponential function, right? It's going to give you the exponential of it, right? Then the last we want to look for here is the square root function. So square root function returns the square root of the argument if it's greater than or equal to 0. So say I wanted to display the square root of 225, I can just write display square root 225. Or in the same data set that we just look at, say you wanted to create a variable. In the same data set that we were looking at, we have a variable age. Say we wanted to create a variable that stores the square root of each of the observations of the variable age. So we can do generate age underscore square root is equal to, we use the square root function and we generate it, right? So this is what this will do is, if we go back, so this will generate a new variable which stores the square root of each of the observations of age, right? So these are some of the common mathematical functions in Stata.